Imagine someone who dreams about electric cars, reusable rockets, artificial intelligence, brain-computer technology, and even building a city on Mars. Not as science fiction, but as actual real goals. Imagine someone who looks at the fundamental limitations of human existence and simply refuses to accept them. Well, that person is Elon Musk. Today, let's dive right into this explainer and trace the wild trajectory of a self-taught coder who transformed himself into a civilization-scale architect.
To really understand him, we have to look at how his mind worked right from the start. While his college classmates at Queen's University were busy scrambling for summer internships and just trying to figure out their entry-level careers, Musk was already telling his friends that he wanted to work on things that would completely change the internet, renewable energy, and space. He wasn't thinking about a standard career path at all. He was literally looking to affect the future of humanity itself.
Section 1. Escaping the early limits. So to grasp these colossal ambitions, we first have to look at his pretty complicated origins. Born in Pretoria, South Africa, he was a curious kid who faced severe bullying at school and a really difficult relationship with his father at home. But he didn't just check out. Instead, he retreated into books and computers to build his knowledge. The sources note he was reading up to 10 hours a day. He was basically constructing his own intellectual escape hatch.
And that intense focus paid off remarkably early. 12. That is the incredibly young age at which he taught himself programming. I mean, while most children were just playing video games, he actually created one. He built and sold a space shooter called Blaster, proving his early passion for technology and a really sharp instinct for business.
His geographic leaps over the years completely mirror those ambitions. At 17, he used his mother's heritage to move to Canada, which was a calculated bridge to avoid compulsory military service in South Africa. From Queen's University, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, eventually earning dual degrees. But the most telling moment? Enrolling in a PhD program at Stanford and dropping out in just 2 days. He saw the massive internet boom happening right in front of him and knew the traditional academic route was just moving way too slowly.
Section 2. Building the first fortunes.
Once he stepped off that traditional path, the discipline he forged in his early years became his absolute greatest asset. During his college years at Penn, he and his roommate, Adil Ressi, rented this massive 10-bedroom house and turned it into a weekend nightclub. But here's the kicker. While his roommate and classmates were partying, Musk stayed completely sober. He just stood at the door, collecting a $5 cover charge all night long to fund his own education and pay rent. Surrounded by total chaos, yet entirely focused on his goal. That same relentless grind carried over directly to his very first tech startup, Zip2. He literally slept on the office floor, walked over to the local YMCA just to take his showers, and coded the city guide software nonstop by himself. There was no glamour here at all, just pure, unfiltered execution, which ultimately led to a massive payoff when Compaq bought the company in 1999. The crucial point for us to take away here is how quickly he compounded that success. The Zip2 sale netted him $22 million at age 28. But rather than taking a break, he immediately poured that money into founding X.com, which soon merged to become PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal in 2002, Musk walked away with $180 million. By 31, he had completely conquered the software world.
Section 3. Betting it all.
Now, most people would comfortably retire on a yacht with that kind of money, right? Instead, he took his entire PayPal fortune and pushed it straight into the center of the table. In 2002, he founded SpaceX to make space travel affordable and eventually colonize Mars. In 2004, he invested heavily in Tesla to push the world towards sustainable energy. These weren't just businesses. The sources actually call them civilization-scale bets. He absorbed extreme financial risk to take on massive established industries that hadn't seen any major disruption in decades.
But it was definitely not a straight path to success. Tesla famously went through what Musk himself called production hell. They faced massive delays on the mass-market Model 3, severe funding shortages, and constant, highly public fears of bankruptcy. Both Tesla and SpaceX were on the absolute brink of failure at times. But rather than giving up, he treated every single setback as a lesson, truly believing that impossible problems only needed better solutions. His willingness to absorb that pain is what finally pushed them through.
Section 4. Redefining the future.
Surviving those near failures allowed him to build a portfolio that is pretty much unprecedented, spanning multiple futuristic industries. Today, he's attempting to solve impossible problems in clean energy with Tesla, aerospace with SpaceX, neuroscience with Neuralink's brain-computer interfaces, urban traffic with The Boring Company, and now artificial intelligence with XAI. He's literally attacking the boundaries of human capability on 5 different fronts simultaneously.
And those concentrated bets? They paid off massively. Following SpaceX's explosive private-to-public growth and Tesla's staggering dominance of the EV market, Elon Musk became the world's first trillionaire. That's a 13-digit fortune, born from the exact same drive that had him sleeping on his office floor 25 years earlier.
Section 5. The polarizing public image.
Of course, when you operate at this civilization-scale level, you attract unprecedented scrutiny. According to the source material, this is incredibly evident in his deep involvement with U.S. politics. He donated over $291 million to Republican candidates in the 2024 cycle and led the DOGE advisory initiative under Donald Trump. Internationally, he's had highly publicized diplomatic disputes with his birth country of South Africa, clashing with the government over affirmative action requirements for his Starlink business, and heavily criticizing South African land reform laws on his platform, X.
Even his personal habits draw intense fire from critics. Data shows he's flown over 150,000 miles in his private jet in a single year, which raises significant environmental questions. On the flip side, Musk has cited severe personal security concerns, even launching legal threats and banning social media accounts that track his real-time location just to protect his family. Amazingly, even his downtime generates international headlines. The sources highlight recent controversies surrounding his intense obsession with complex video games like Diablo and Path of Exile 2. He even recently admitted in leaked messages to paying people to boost his gaming accounts, which is a massive taboo in the gaming community. This has actually led to public feuds and culture war clashes with game developers right on his own platform.
So what does this all mean for us? Whether you view him as the absolute greatest innovator of our generation, or you sharply disagree with his decisions and leadership style, his undeniable influence on technology, space, and AI leaves us all with one massive thought to take away. Elon Musk's story reminds us that success is rarely a straight path. Big dreams require courage, persistence, and the willingness to fail many, many times before achieving something extraordinary. His message is pretty simple. The future belongs to those who are brave enough to build it. So, what impossible limit will we break next?